Hey guys, how's it going? It's Joel Tolentino here. So in this video, I'm going to be doing something a little bit different, something a little bit more fun than usual. I'm going to be talking about my 3 favorite Christmas movies of all time. So I'm going to be talking about my 3 favorite Christmas movies of all time. Now, this is a tradition that I do with my sister. We always watch these same Christmas movies every year. So we usually watch them, and then at the same time, we're either wrapping gifts, or we're baking some cookies, or we're having pizza or something. It's usually one of those 3 things that are happening while we're watching these movies. So I'm going to share my 3 favorite movies of all time for me, and I definitely recommend these. These are classics, and for me, it's just not Christmas without watching them. So we'll start off backwards and we'll go 3, 2, 1. The third one that I'm going to talk about is How the Grinch Stole Christmas, the one with Jim Carrey. So at the time when this movie came out, it was like the first of its kind. So How the Grinch Stole Christmas, that was like a cartoon. Like me and my sister Justine, we would watch this cartoon on VHS tape. If you know what VHS tape is, we would watch that on this tape in our VCR all the time, and it was the cartoon version, and I loved it. I grew up on that story, reading the book and then watching the VHS tape. So when Jim Carrey came out with a real life version of How the Grinch Stole Christmas, and he actually looked like him and the costumes were so well done, I was so excited to see this movie that me, my cousin, and my sister, we watched it in the theaters. And in my opinion, they did a great job. Like, Jim Carrey was so good at playing the Grinch and just being that sinister character and being a Grinch, right? He did such a good job, and the makeup and the costume, I absolutely loved it. And I remember watching this in the theaters. It was me, my sister, and my cousin. We were still young at the time, so that's why our older cousin had to come with us. And, we would get an allowance every week. Like, we would get like $5 a week, me and my sister, as an allowance. And, obviously our parents paid for the movie tickets, and then, they didn't want us to eat like junk food and stuff. So they're like, oh, just eat dinner beforehand, and then you can just go watch the movie, and then you don't need to eat that popcorn and the pop and junk food. Obviously, me and my sister wanted that kind of stuff. Like, without that, it's like, it's part of the movie experience. So me and my sister, we pooled our money together, and popcorn and like the drinks and stuff, they're super expensive. Well, my cousin, he could drive he was able to drive, and we went to this grocery store, and we bought this like huge bag of popcorn for bulk. Like, it had already been popped, and it was like less than $5 or something. So we used our allowance money to buy this like really long. It was like, we were kids at the time, but it was super long, this large plastic bag of popcorn, and we broke it up into separate bags so that we could each hide it in our jackets. I didn't have a purse or a backpack or anything like that, and so we just stuffed these popcorn bags in our jackets so that we could sneak it into the movie theaters. And I just remember that being like a really fun time, and just like sneaking in the popcorn, because the popcorn was like so cheap, but we got so much of it, and the popcorn's like so expensive in the theaters. So my second favorite Christmas movie of all time is the National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. Now, I never understood why it's called the National Lampoon's part and then Christmas Vacation. But anyways, it's that movie with Chevy Chase and the Griswold family. This movie is absolutely hilarious to me. I love Chevy Chase and each one of the family members of the characters. The wife, Rusty, Audrey, the daughter, and then Cousin Eddie. He's like one of my favorite ones in the movie. I actually also like Vegas Vacation with the Griswolds when the family's a little bit older. That one is also funny to me too. So the reason why I think I love, Christmas Vacation, the Griswold family, so much is because it reminds me a lot of my family. There's always funny stuff happening. Well, it's not funny to them at the time, but it's funny when you think back on it, and like the little bickering and the arguing and just like the stupid little fights that happen during around Christmas time, and everyone gets all irritable and weird about stuff, and like things go wrong, and just like funny stuff happens, and when they show like the grandparents and the extended family in the movie, that reminds me of my family too, because I'm part of a family of 4. It's me, my mom, my sister, and me. But I'm Filipino, so there's like a huge big family. It's like cousins and aunts and uncles. So during Christmas time when we get together, there's like a whole bunch of us everywhere, and it just reminds me of the craziness that happens, like how the Griswolds do Christmas. Out of the 3 movies, I'd say this one is the funniest for me, Christmas Vacation. And I'll explain number 1 in just a moment. But I'd say this one is like the funniest for me. So I would highly recommend watching National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation with Chevy Chase. I love the silly humor, the jokes, just the way the acting is. It's a classic. So here we go, my number 1 favorite Christmas movie of all time. Here, I'm gonna just stand up and I'll just show you. Ta-da! There it is. Can you guys guess what it is? Pretty obvious by this picture. It's Home Alone. Home Alone is my number 1 favorite Christmas movie of all time. And actually, taking Christmas out of it, it's actually one of my favorite movies of all time. Oh, and by the way, if you like this t-shirt, I got it on Amazon. The links are in the description below. It's a really cool t-shirt. There's a cartoon version and a real life version of it as well. So anyways, Home Alone was actually my very first movie that I ever saw in the theaters. So I had never been to the theaters before, and my parents took me and my sister to watch this movie, and I absolutely fell in love with the whole story. I loved how, Kevin McAllister was in this huge like mansion home and by himself, and he could like do whatever he want. And he, that scene where he's like eating the ice cream, and the ice cream's like this tall, and he could just play toys and play this shooting gun game, and like, oh, I wanted to do that. That scene where he has that shotgun, it's like I don't know what kind of gun it is. It's like a BB gun or something, and it's like a shotgun, and he shoots at these little toy soldiers. Well, me and my sister, asked my mom to take us to the dollar store and to get these like rubber band guns so that they would shoot rubber bands, and we bought like little tiny toys just like him, and we would reenact those scenes. Like me and my sister were a little bit younger than Kevin McAllister when we saw it. I think I was like 5 and my sister was 4, and I think Kevin was like 6 or 7 or something in the movie. Maybe 8. I'm not sure what age he played, but we were definitely a couple years younger than him, and we wanted to be like Kevin McAllister, Macaulay Culkin. Yeah, I know this movie like inside and out. Me and my sister, we recite the lines all the time. We have inside jokes with this movie. Every time we get a pizza, there's this scene where he opens the box of pizza because he orders it himself, and then he goes, "A lovely cheese pizza just for me." He first smells it first, and then he says that line. I say that line every time I get a pizza, and it's not a cheese pizza. It's like usually a pepperoni or meat lovers or something like that, but I still say that line anyways. Oh, and another thing, Kevin, like Macaulay Culkin, he wears these like brownish boots with like a sweater and then like these like pants. Like we wanted that exact outfit as well. Like we wanted our mom to buy that outfit so that we could look like him, and then we would always tell people that we have the same shoes as Macaulay Culkin in Home Alone, and like we were so proud of these shoes. So those are my top 3 favorite Christmas movies of all time. Like I said, I watch these every year, and it just doesn't feel like Christmas without watching them. So what are your favorite Christmas movies? What are your Christmas traditions that you guys do? Please let me know in the comments below. I would love to know. Alright guys, well, wanted to just do a fun little video for you. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.
Back from the dead.